So I took the road to Disney, and with my newfound understanding of how things work in life, I began to appreciate and take advantage of opportunities that presented themselves. As Dr. Yanis said, I did everything from write and co-produce TV specials to flying to Australia to tape Dennis Conner saying, "I'm going to Disney World," after he won the America's Cup. It really was one bigger and better experience after another, until the day it all went sour. Why did it go sour? Mainly because I took it all too damn seriously. I lost the fun that a career ought to be. I forgot what I was there for. And when you lose that fun, everything begins to get poisoned. Your job, your family, what you're there on this earth for. I had a personal and a career breakdown. On the way to this gathering, I saw a movie in the airplane. It was Jerry Maguire. I imagine a few of you have seen that. Show me the money. I wasn't fired like Jerry Maguire was, but I did take an extended leave of absence to work things out for myself. And with 1 week to go before my Mickey Mouse clock ran out on me, before I was officially off the payroll at Disney, chance intervened again. On that day, I had a reason to visit a remote building on the Disney campus that I never went to. I don't know why I went there today. But as I walked up to the front of this building, I saw a huge sign out front, "Job Fair Today." I thought, I'm looking for a job. Why not? So I went in. Within 5 minutes, I bumped into a Disney executive that I had met one time before. We started to chat. I let her know I was on the market. She said, "I might have a project for you. Call me." I called her. She had the project. It turned into a full-time job. It was much smaller than the one I had before, but it was a job. So there I was, saved by the brink of disaster by sheer chance. Or was it sheer chance? What happened next proved that it wasn't. Just a few months into my new job, I received a call from a friend in another division of the company who had tracked me down. She said, "Can you write speeches?" Well, I had written a few, so I said, "Sure." I figured at least this time I actually had some experience doing something I was being asked to do, so why not take a shot at it? And it was a good thing I had some experience, because she told me the speech was needed by the end of the day. Now, you marketing people will appreciate this. She was a marketing person, and you know, they never tell you what they really want until you've already said yes. Then they tell you when the deadline is. So she told me it was a speech for Frank Wells, who was then president of Disney. Frank, with Michael Eisner, was in the process of turning Disney into the powerhouse it is today. And he was flying in the next day to dedicate the Norway Pavilion at Epcot Center, along with the Crown Prince of Norway. He needed a few remarks for the occasion. Okay, nothing like a high-profile speechwriting debut. So I wrote the speech, I faxed it off. The next day, our office secretary came rushing in telling me that Frank Wells was on the phone. He wanted to speak with me. I resuscitated her and took the call. Frank was calling to thank and compliment me for the work. But I knew, really, I was getting the call for some other reason. And you guessed it, it was another fork, it was another chance, another opportunity, and I took it. I knew I might never have this chance to speak with Frank Wells again, so I asked for the order. I said, "Thank you for your compliments, but the greatest compliment would be if you'd let me write for you again someday." And his answer was, "Sure." Soon I would become the Florida speechwriter for Frank and Michael Eisner and other Disney executives. It's amazing what you can get if you'll just ask for it, and then once you get it, if you'll work hard at it. My most recent fork in the road is what brought me here today. In 1993, a former Disney executive asked if I'd like to join him at Carlson Companies to head up the travel division's PR department. You know, it was really something I had no practical experience doing. I'd been on the periphery of it at Disney, but it sounded like fun. I said yes. After all, it was Carlson Companies, the parent company of Radisson, Carlson Wagonlit Travel, TGI Fridays, and it was a chance to work with a bona fide legend, Kurt Carlson. The result of that decision to again try something new, today I have the honor of heading up the Carlson PR effort globally, working with Kurt Carlson and Marilyn Nelson, and embarking on one of the most joyful periods of my life. It is a place I never thought I'd be 21 years ago. Now, I think that illustrates why today is called commencement instead of conclusion. Today you are commencing your own journeys down your road. You may think you know what's ahead. I did 21 years ago. And if that illusion comforts you, that's fine for now. But if my story has taught me anything, it is these things. The first is to focus on the job you have while you have it. Never be so focused, however, that you have blinders on and you lose your peripheral vision. If you do, you'll miss those opportunities that present themselves on the sides of life, the things that'll take you in another direction. Secondly, never listen to that voice that tells you why you can't do something. Go ahead and try it. You never know. Maybe you can. I hope my own story has proven that to you. Thirdly, never be so hooked on logic that you lose your ability to hear your own sign from Walt. There isn't a successful person on this stage that won't admit privately that sometimes they act simply on a feeling with no rhyme or reason behind it, but somehow it works. It sounds like Star Wars, it sounds like trust in the Force, but you know, Shakespeare put it a better way, and he said, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And that's so true. The fourth lesson, never forget that out of all adversity comes strength and good if you look for it. The lowest point in my Disney career led to the highest achievements in my life. And fifth and finally, if my story leaves you with only one thought today as you commence, it's this. If you think you know what your goal is today, that's great. If you have no idea what your goal is today, that's great too. You'll find it or it will find you. I know what I'm recommending isn't the preferred answer from a B-school textbook. You're supposed to have a goal and be able to articulate it. But you know, it's an answer from a book with an even better track record, from Matthew 6:28. And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Let the day's own trouble be sufficient for the day. It works for me. Well, today I've shared with you some lessons from my own journey, my forks in the road. In 21 years, you'll have the same, I hope, stories to tell. As you create those stories, take the time to think about them, listen to them, savor them, realize what they mean to you, and above all, believe in them and believe in yourself. So when the day comes when someone asks you to put on a funny hat like this and share these stories with an audience, you'll know the value of the places you've been and the sorrows you've lived and the joys you've experienced. And you now know I started in advertising, so I hope you'll indulge me if I steal a line from a TV commercial to close my speech. With apologies to the little guy from Nissan, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. We appreciate your sharing your thoughts with us today and for your help in making this occasion a memorable one for our graduates. And congratulations to all the members of the honorary class of 1997. I don't think any other college or university in the country can boast such a prominent representation of business and industry leaders. I would now like to introduce Dr. Irving Schneider, Vice President of Academic Affairs, who will present the undergraduate degree candidates.